Hi again. In this video, I'm correcting the sesame case, a creation of a management tool under Excel software. First thing first, I've make a simple copy paste of what they ask into the subject. The first part is focused on tips and tricks on Vlookup and automatization and the quantity calculation. So the first trick is to create label name in order to write the function easy to write. So here you can go into formulas and define a name. So when you click on define name, you can have the new name. So in this case, it's going to be the ID. Okay, and that's referred to the invoice and the cell F4 here. So that's the first way to create this. I'm gonna cancel it because you can also do this into the name box here. So you can create this with ID. I'm just asking you to avoid to put really specific characters, things you don't gonna remember. But as you create this, now when you call for the ID, Excel knows that you're gonna refer to this cell because you create a link with this label. Okay, so that's very convenient to create the formula. The second step is to create some table with the customer. So you have to go to insert and table here. So my table has headers and I got 100 line, so that's okay, I can create this. You can also in the table design rename this for here customers, and I'm gonna press enter. So Excel is gonna know as well that with the customer that it's gonna refer to this whole zone here. So keep in mind that for the VLOOKUP, as I'm calling the ID of the customer here, the ID client, so you're gonna refer to the first column of the table array, so your VLOOKUP is gonna work. I'm going to do the same here with the product. So again, I'm clicking into the table, insert table, my table as headers. That's okay. And I'm gonna rename this product. And I'm pressing enter. So now let's go on the VLOOKUP part. In order to make it more easy, just gonna fill a little bit, let me more space here. What I'm going to do is just to copy paste the structure of the base in order to be able to do that very quickly. So the first part is to select a customer and show the contact detail here. So I'm just gonna put off the example here, and I'm just gonna reset a cleaner color, something softer here, something like this, just in order to see that something happened into it. And now I can even suppress that, but for the moment I'm gonna keep the layout, okay? Because they ask that to be careful with the design layout. So for the base here, I want to ask for Excel to give me the customer details. So I'm gonna copy the headers, the first line of my base, and I'm gonna go back to the invoice. Here you just right click and you're gonna paste in transpose element here. Don't need this style here, I just need something like this. So you're gonna recreate here an index for this value in order to know that the first column is the ID client, and that's gonna be the trick, okay? Because now you don't have to go back and forth with the customer table and to the invoice. So let's see what we can do with this. The first VLOOKUP is gonna be onto the ID. I'm gonna looking for the customers, and for the column numbers, if I want the name or something else like the stability or something, anyway, to make it more easy, I'm going to begin with the stability here. And for the approximate match, I'm going to select an exact match, so false or 0 here. So the trick is this. Now, as I'm referring my column index number into this table, when I'm going to copy it down, you're going to as low follow the element. So as you can see, it's displaying different elements relative to the number that you are in. The only things that I have to pay attention is that as I want to respect the same layout, I'm gonna copy this, but with my right click in order to just fill with the formula, not the element. So it's just the contrary that you have to select, fill without formatting. So now I'm gonna respect the element. So if you want to copy this again, what we have then after the country, we have the zip code, the phone number, and does it the premium or not. So I'm gonna add some new line here just in order to be able to copy this down again. Yep, and to get as low the premium, because it's not the only part that I need to do. But my VLOOKUP are done for the most part. What I just need to do is to just get a better experience for my user. So I'm going to manage all the type of error that I can get onto this workbook. So for instance, the most case you're going to have when it's empty or when the ID is wrong. Okay, so you're going to have the same result hashtag NA for non-available. So you can use the if error function. So you just have to cut your function without the equal sign and say if error of your value. So you're going to paste semicolon or just a comma. Then you're going to type your between double quotes your message. So the first element, if I got an error on my VLOOKUP, you're going to have something like wrong ID. Okay. And you can close your bracket here. So now when you see that it's empty or something like this, I'm gonna just give you that. So I'm gonna just copy this here, fill without formatting, and that's gonna be a little bit different for here because I don't need to say wrong ID everywhere here. So I'm just gonna need to say that on the first line, then I'm gonna let it empty by just putting my double quote here. So as you can see here, I just get a double quote. So now I can copy it down until the end and fill without formatting. So now when I get a number that it's working, you have the element, and when it's empty, you're gonna have wrong ID. So this is not exactly what we need. What we need is that when we're gonna do if function to create this tiny message, we're gonna say if the ID is empty, so you're gonna say empty with this double quote. So if it's empty, we're gonna display message like select an ID here. Okay, and then if it's not, yeah, it means that we just have to display the other part. So I'm just gonna paste what I just put before. Okay, so now if you see that it's empty, I got the message to select an ID, or you can even put some message just right here in order for him to understand there is something here. And when you got wrong ID, it's gonna tell you that it didn't find the element because it go into the if error. Because what happened here into the logical test, it's not empty, so it go into the false value. And if you got an error, it can display the message value if error. So this is why it's telling you wrong ID. And if you got something that's working, it's just gonna give you the element like this. What I need to do now is maybe I don't need the if error part here. So I'm just gonna erase this part because I just need to concatenate this VLOOKUP with the first one. So I just need to copy this. Here I'm gonna cut with Ctrl X. I'm gonna put that just at the end of my value here. So you just have to click on the hyperlink text, and then you're gonna concatenate this part with a space and with my other VLOOKUP. Okay, so you're gonna have that in a cleaner way. You can do the same stuff. We don't have the CD here, so we don't need to put the zip code here. Maybe we're just gonna put the element like this, and we as low need to display that the customer is a premium member or not. So I'm gonna put that in a bigger way in order to be really visible for the people. Maybe it's gonna be cleaner to put that in uppercase. So you just need to again concatenate this part with upper and just put your text like this, okay, in order to have premium or not if it's not one. Now I can suppress the line that I just create. So this is done for the first part of our case. So now we have managed, so I can highlight the element here, select the customer ID, and indicate very clearly if the customer belongs to the member club, the premium member club. So I can highlight this part, and I'm gonna do this the next question into the next part of the video.